Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. How's it going, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And join me today for my overview of the Woods, the Deluxe Edition Slipcase from Boom Studios. So let's go ahead and get started. Right, let's go ahead and start this overview. So this is the latest Slipcase / Deluxe Edition from Boom Studios, and this is The Woods by James Tynion and Michael Dialynas. And you have the Boom Studios logo there, tiny onion down there, and then you have the slipcase. So this is the actual book right here, and the slipcase is covered in this wonderful piece of art right here by Dialynas, showcasing all of the different students that are affected by this storyline. We'll explain what that means here in a little bit, but let's look at the Deluxe Edition. So this is available in two different formats, right? You have the Deluxe Edition. They do this for just about most of the Deluxe Edition releases. And you have the Deluxe Edition. This one's here is $89.99. In the slipcase, it's $115. So you can get it this way or this way. But let's take a closer look at the book itself. James Tynion IV, Michael Dialynas, and The Woods. And then you have these shadows right there of the kids. And we saw this earlier. And then the back of the book. The Boom Studios there. ISBN. Nothing really about the book. Honestly, I'm surprised it doesn't come with a leaflet. Like, it just comes sealed in plastic. There's no leaflet in the Slipcase edition. I assume maybe, well, no, I don't know. I don't know if this is exactly what, I assume this is exactly what the Deluxe Edition is because it is down here, $89.99 the ISBN. All right. To kind of let you know what the size of this book is, though, it is a Deluxe Edition, and when I say Deluxe Editions, you know, most of the time Deluxe Editions are the height of Marvel and DC Omnis. However, this time around, I'm sure you can probably tell from here, but probably more so here, the book is a little bit taller than an omnibus. So, just a little bit taller. And there is no dust jacket, it's just art on board. This kind of reminds me of one of those books that you would find in an airport that you would just pick up, that cover. I think the cover here of the slipcase actually shows a little bit more as to what is going on. So what is going on? We are going to open this book up and look at the artwork in here and give you the pitch of the story and see if there's anything extra and look at, of course, the binding and build. All right, let's go ahead and get this big book open. You have this green end sheets here, The Woods, nothing else. Published by Boom Studios. And then you have a little bit of the behind the scenes here of the collection editor and all the folks at Boom Studios. And here is the credits, or the 2-credit page. So you have James Tynion IV writing the story. You have Michael Dialynas doing the illustrations with the colors by Josan Gonzalez for issues 1 through 24. You have Ed Dukeshire doing the lettering, and then of course the cover itself by Michael Dialynas. And then The Woods created by both James and Michael. And then you have this image right here. Now, collected in here is the entirety of The Woods, issues 1 through 36. Again, the book in Slipcase Edition retails for $115. In Deluxe Edition, $89.99. It has 896 pages. Now, one thing I noticed is that the issues are broken into chapters, but the covers are there intact. I assume this is the cover to Volume 1. I can't remember. Maddie, let me borrow the trade paperback, and I can't remember if it is or not. All right, so here's the pitch. This all takes place in October of 2013. We're at this school. It's called the Bay Point High School, and it is in Wisconsin. So at the very beginning, we see this kid right here. This is Adrian, and he's saying, I know exactly what I have to do. Then we go back 25 minutes before that scene. So here we meet a lot of the kids. We meet Karen Jacobs, we have Sanami Ota, we have Calder McCready. His brother is also in this book too. Maria Ramirez, and we have the school principal right there, and they kind of give you a little bit of a blurb as to who they are at the very beginning, right? Maria wishes she could strangle whoever told Mr. Beaumont to be principal, and John Beaumont, the principal, wishes he could strangle whoever told him to be principal. So a little bit of who they are. Isaac Andrews right here is getting better at pretending he's not upset, and Benjamin Stone knew it was a bad idea to take the hallway. And then we meet Adrian Roth, who will be our key players for a while. So those characters, those kids, that principal will be the key players in this story. So what happens when Isaac and Adrian are in this computer lab? They hear an earthquake, and they don't know exactly what it is, but it is the entire school was just shaking. And then there's a bright light. And what ends up happening is that the school, it seems like, was transported somewhere else. Perhaps another dimension, perhaps another planet, perhaps the future, or perhaps the past. We don't know exactly what's going on. We're just thrown into the middle of the woods. The world looks different up there. Or, I'm sorry, the skies look different. Like, what the hell is that? What are these creatures? And these creatures are attacking these students. There are mystical and like machinery everywhere, so they don't know where they are. Now, if the concept sounds familiar to you, it is very familiar to something like the Drifting Classroom, but this feels a lot more like something like Lord of the Flies meets the Drifting Classroom instead of just sticking to just horror, because it is a mystery. And poor Carrie, man, kids are getting killed left and right. Adults, the teachers are getting killed left and right. Nobody is safe. So the actual pitch of this is about how these kids are learning to survive in this new world, and also learning what this new world is. Who's behind everything? And then, of course, there's alliances. There are people that separate from each other. So you have one group that went into the woods itself, because that's where Adrian thinks they need to go, because this machine has he thinks it's an arrow that is pointing that way. Is that what the arrow? Oh, that's the arrow. I thought that was the tiny onion symbol for his own publication company. But the teachers are behind. I love this scene right here where the teachers are having a meeting. They're like, okay, look, kids aren't eating enough. We got to figure out what's going on. And then the students come in here and just start taking over. This is Maria, and she's like, look, you guys are worried about the kids eating. We need to survive. We need to figure out where we are. We've already lost some kids. A group went into the woods. And sure enough, they did. And this is where they meet Dr. Robot, this little guy right there. That's what Isaac ends up calling him. And this world just seems a lot different. The trees, nature seems to come alive. And one thing that Tynion does is throughout the story, there's flashbacks here that kind of give you an idea of who these people were before the story started. Like, some of them take place a year ago, and the more you dive into the book, sometimes these flashbacks happen years before the students got transferred into this new world, if you will, because I don't want to give away what happens. I will say that things are explained through here as to where they are and perhaps what is behind everything. Is it alien technology? Is it people from the future? Is it people from the past? Because one thing that you're going to find out in the first story arc is that they're not alone. In the first story arc, you're going to see people like dressed in medieval clothing. And how did they get there? And how do they speak English? Or is it the students are automatically translating their language? Again, just things that are throwing into the whole mystery as to where they are. And yes, of course, this is teenagers, so there's a lot of drama, but not just drama. There's also romance in here. You know, who's into who and why certain characters act a certain way. For example, the character that I couldn't stand at first became one of my favorite characters. The characters that I didn't see getting together ended up getting together, and then, oh my gosh, where the story goes and who is being manipulated by who, I will just let you find out. I don't want to flip too much through here because there's a lot of things that happen, especially when you get to the halfway point where a lot of the characters change, because there is a little bit of a time jump throughout the story. About a year happens in between story arcs sometimes. I love the fact that the school, the kids that remain, and students, or not students, but teachers that remain at the school, have like pretty much just made it into their own society here. They're choosing leaders, and of course, within that, there is drama and turmoil, and also betrayal. There's a couple of other characters I haven't talked about, like Sander, or the brother, for example. But, you know, I will let you find out who those this guy right here. Who the hell is that guy? Yeah, he plays a big important part. But I promise things will be answered. You're just not thrown in there, you know, with this whole mystery. Now, one of the things that is collected in here are the covers. So you have, let's actually go back. So, for example, they tell you exactly, this is the cover to issue number 4. And then you get into chapter 4. So the only one I didn't really see is like issue number 1, or anytime there's like a big chapter break, because being that this is 36 issues, there are several chapter breaks through here. So, for example, like you have issue number 7 cover art and issue number 6 cover art right there. But I don't know if this is like issue number 5 cover or not. I will say, though, all the way in the back, there are no extras. There's no sketchbook. There's no variant covers. I don't know if there were. I assume there were, just because we have variant covers left and right in today's comics. But you do get a bio here on James Tynion IV. And of course, the artist right there, Michael Dialynas. And then your end sheets. Now, even though there are no variant covers, this is still a great read. It's a lot of fun. It's one of those books that I couldn't put down. Maddie let me borrow the first trade paperback many years ago because we were going to do an old reader, new reader on it. And then, I don't know, we had to reschedule for some reason. But the book itself, oh my gosh, it's just one of those books that is such a page turner. I didn't want to put it down, and I almost read the whole thing in one day, but because I had to read other comics, I think it was the trade paperbacks that I was doing for Marvel, I had to put it down and read those and then come back to this because, man, it's just a solid story. I like the premise, right? We've seen this premise before. We've seen it in things like I mentioned, Lord of the Flies, Drifting Classroom, or even things like Battle Royale. It's not as graphic or as dark as Battle Royale, or the horror aspects are there, but not as much as like Drifting Classroom. I will say that, yes, not everybody makes it. I don't want to tell you, there's other parts of the story that I haven't mentioned, like, do the parents know that they're missing? What's going on Earth? I will let you find out all of that for yourself. I just want to kind of give you the pitch. And the art, my gosh, it's so good, and I love the colors. They really make the characters stand out, even when Dialynas is doing his own colors. They just look great. The different tones, and there's a lot of creepy factors in here, like what exactly is in the woods and what those monsters are. Now, let's look at the binding really quick. 896 pages. It is a flat spine, but that's what the eye looks like. So let's see the way the book lays over. Hey, we just come back to the beginning here. And a little bit of gutter loss there, but as far as the double page spreads, honestly, there's not a lot. Mainly it's when there are chapter breaks right here. But that is it. That, as they say, is that. Oh, that's upside down. Is that. There we go. If you're interested in purchasing this Slipcase edition, or the deluxe edition, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this deluxe edition in the slipcase, of course. If you have any questions, leave those questions down below. If you are picking this up, let me know which edition you're going for. If you're going to get the deluxe edition, or you're going to get the slipcase edition, or if you're going to stick to the trade paperbacks. If you read the series, what you think of the series, and what other series from Boom you would love to see this kind of treatment. Any questions, leave them down below. Smash that like button on the way out. Everybody, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.